Yo, Cover One crew. What is going on? Chris Chow's back again. Hope everybody's doing awesome out there. I'm great as usual. Why? Because we're talking catchers of balls today. We're talking scouting report for Jordan Addison, one of my favorite wide receivers in this NFL draft class this year. I'll let the cat out the bag right away. I am a huge fan of Jordan Addison. I think his game is absolutely stellar. And I mean, if any of y'all watch the film and your pants get a little wet, I can't fault you because I had to change mine twice when I watched his film. It was unbelievable, man. His tape is so good. He's such a great talent. But before we get started, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We're starting to gain some momentum and some traction. Road to 1,000 is what we're trying to get at. I mean, I get we're still early in the process, but if you can help me out, man, stick around. I got you covered with everything you need football-wise. But what do you say we talk about a little Jordan Addison, scouting report, NFL draft? You know, one of the most interesting aspects of this NFL draft, especially at the wide receiver position, there isn't necessarily a clear-cut number one guy by consensus at this moment. I've seen many that say it's Addison, it's Johnston, it's Jackson Smith and Jigba. I've seen everybody talking about it. Seen some say Flowers. So this is the interesting aspect. We can debate who we like more. And I mean, I've already put it out there. I've been on the line with another video with trends and rankings talking about Jordan Addison. I got him right now as my number one ranked wide receiver. And for purpose, no kidding, it is not a hot take. He is that good. Let's talk about this man's measurables. He is 5'11", 173. He is only 21 years of age. He is that Pitt transfer to USC. And okay, he wanted to go play with Caleb Williams after Kenny Pickett left for the NFL. You can't fault him for that. But when we're talking statistical achievement, it is 35 contests, 219 receptions, 3,134 yards, 14.3 on the average, and a nice whopping 29 touchdown receptions. And you're talking, okay, which film should I watch as a, scout coming into the realm of this department? You got to go and catch all the Pittsburgh tape. It was 93 receptions, almost 1,500 yards and 17 touchdowns with Kenny Pickett. That's the film on Jordan Addison you got to pay attention to and watch because it was just absolutely littered with gorgeous plays. It was littered with beautiful opportunities. His ability was on point. That's the film you got to watch. USC tape was a little bit more, okay, I see your point. He's good. But, I mean, when you go back to Pitt, you understand exactly what I'm talking about on his film. But let's talk those pros because he's got a lot of them also, and it is speed. Very good speed. Okay, yes. He ran almost a 4.5 at the combine. What was it, 4.49, 4.48? I was expecting, especially at his size, 5'11", 173, I was totally expecting him to run a 4.41, 4.42. Did not come to pass. And, okay, everyone's going to say, I'm going to tell y'all right now, keep that recency bias about your mind because you got to go watch the film. The tape speed is a lot better, and it is truer than it was for the combine. And I think that's the point. Everyone gets the recency bias in their head. They get, hung up on the numbers from the combine, from the pro days, and they say, well, he can't play in the NFL. Not happening, man. The speed is very good on film, and he can absolutely cook defensive backs like they're standing still. Twitchy and agile is part of his MO. It's part of his game. It's all over the tape. You got the running fluidity. It is absolutely stupendous, fabulous, fantastic, whichever word you want to use. And that's my standard. When I see a wide receiver or a running back that exhibits extremely fluid motions, fluidity is key for me because you cannot teach that stuff. That is like speed. You cannot teach fluid motions. They can maybe earn a little bit more with some flexibility, but when a guy knows how to run and it's fluid like this man, you can't teach that stuff, and that is a definite plus grade for me. The fluid motions in Jordan Addison is absolutely stellar, and I love it. Straight up playmaker, like we're talking about with Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, and I'm not going to sit here and tell you that he is one of those individuals. That is too rich for my blood to be predicting right now as we sit at the end of March. I'm not going to do that for y'all. But he is a playmaker, and he's going to make plays. He showed out, and he showed that his ability in making plays on the regular, extremely consistent. But what do we say about Justin Jefferson? How many scouts? I was a big fan of Justin Jefferson coming out of college, and a lot of people said, he's only going to be able to play in the slot. He's never going to play an outside role in the NFL. Look at how foolish that looks now. Do not sleep on what Jordan Addison does well, because his God-given ability is definitely there, and he is a straight-up playmaker. Maybe not to the top-end degree we see Justin Jefferson, where he's the best wide receiver in the class or in the NFL. Jordan Addison is definitely, on that point of saying that he can make game-changing plays whenever called upon. His route tree is extremely sound, plus grades, got no issues whatsoever. I see some that fault him for some routes. I don't know what you're looking at because his route tree is extremely solid to me. Route manipulation is superb, and it helps and aids in his ability to separate because it is an elite trait. His separation is probably the best in this class, if not one of the best. He is so good in this department. You can catch how many times, at minimum, he's 2 yards ahead of his ahead of his defensive back, I should say. And if not, he's like 5 yards. There was points of tape where you saw the defensive back wasn't even in the screen anymore because he cooked Jordan Addison cooked the DB that bad. He is so good. It is a complete technician in that department. No wasted speed, the fluid motions, the sharp cuts, and he is able to break free and find separation on the regular. You gotta love that about your wide receivers, okay? It's a massive point in their game. If they can't separate, they're not catching passes, and they're not a team-friendly guy for the quarterback. Release footwork is absolutely sick off the line, and I get it. There are times, and I'll touch that in the cons as well, but a lot of people are, a negative on a Jordan Addison when it comes to his release, only because he can get bullied on the line, okay? And I completely understand. But we saw guys like a Stevie Johnson, who I think, in my respect, was one of the best wide receivers ever in the NFL when it comes to release footwork off the line. Jordan Addison is that good. I'm telling y'all, the stutter steps, the shuffle steps, getting the defensive backs turned, getting them off balance. He does this extremely well, and it's not going to be a problem in the NFL. Continuing with the route, the double move is just dirty, and he is going to make people miss all over the place, whether he's going in, out, or out, in. The double move is absolutely sick. The stutter stop and then the go, it's just unbelievable what he's able to do with that double move. They respect the speed, and you'll notice that on film. Defensive backs definitely respect the speed. Doesn't look like he's running a 4.48, even though that is still very fast. It doesn't look like it's a 4.39. Like, that's what I'm talking about. They respect his speed in college football these past 2 years. No kidding about that. Body adjustment, completely natural, and that piggybacks on the point of talking, running fluidity. And it's so good. And we saw one of those grabs in shorts at the NFL Combine before he went down with that back injury. The pass was a little high as he was doing the slant route, and he just went up and snagged that ball, y'all. It was so clean, no wasted movements, just, catch the ball out of the air, decent catch radius, up high, and he continues to run. Body adjustments completely natural, goes toe-in-toe with the fluid running ability. Hands are absolutely great, just a natural hand catcher, no slapping off the hands, no double catch movements, no body catching. He's a hand catcher, and that's what you're looking for. And like I did say, there are a lot of guys in this draft right now that are very good hand catchers. No kidding about that. Like I said, snags the ball out of the air with ease. You got to love every part of that of his game. Jordan Addison can literally do it all. You're talking screenplays, getting hidden behind in the backfield as the running back going on the flat route, short passes, going mid-range, going mid to deep, and going deep. I had no issues. You can put Jordan Addison in the slot. You can put him outside, and I do believe he's going to be able to make traction in the NFL. A lot of people said the same stuff about Calvin Ridley, too. And I think Jordan Addison is going to be even better than something like a Calvin Ridley. I really, truly believe it. I love every aspect of his game right now. He is that good. But we got to talk about some cons because everybody has them, including my guy Jordan Addison. He's got a lean frame. Like I said, okay, he's got to add more weight. No kidding. This is a big problem right now as we evaluate the bias. Is he going to hold up in the NFL? That's the key. But the game has changed. It's not so much, it's more of a passing league. There are schemes and ways to get these guys wide open and the ability to make plays. You just got to get a meal plan. Get him a sandwich, put him in a NFL weight room, and he's going to be just fine. 10 to 15 pounds, likely 10 pounds. Get him up to 185, and I think he's going to do absolute damage in the NFL. Overall strength can be a concern. I completely understand that. Also goes with the meal plan, with the NFL weight room plan. Get a little bit more muscle on the frame. That way he's not completely bullied by these defensive backs who do press up on him, and that is a knock as well. Like I said, his footwork off the line is good when it comes to his release, but if the defensive backs do get their hands on this man, he's getting jammed up. You want to say more than 50% of the time. It is definitely there. I've seen it. I did not like it. I was hoping that he was going to do, some movement, And sometimes that's another knock, that he does take some plays off. So when he is jammed up, it's almost like he's lost the juice to, make those moves off the line, and then he allows the defensive backs to do that. I understand some players operate that way, but once he gets into an NFL squad, it's going to be no bueno to the coaches, because they won't allow him to do that. No kidding, man. He can be an easy tackle if lined up. Again, going with the size and the stature, he's able to break free. If he shakes and jukes you out of your pants, he's going off to the end zone, or making at least an attempt for it. But I mean, if he's lined up one-on-one, I don't see a lot of, hope that he's going to be able to break tackles that way. He can slip some, off the shoestrings, but he's definitely easily tackled if he is lined up. The start-stop acceleration isn't necessarily elite, and I think that kind of coincides with how we saw his 40 time. It's better on tape than it is in the testing. But the stop-start acceleration, you can even see when he's taking punt returns, he isn't necessarily got that, crazy burst when he is standing still. It takes him a couple steps, and then he gets going, and that's fine. He's learned how to utilize that, take his negative and turn it into a positive with his great route run ability, and then he's got enough speed to get past his defensive backs. He can do this very well, and I think he has figured it out in most respects, but there will be refinement in the NFL, but the stop-start acceleration definitely is not elite in my opinion. I was expecting it to be. It definitely was not. Refinement and technique will definitely benefit a Jordan Addison, and it's not far off. I mean, everybody's going to need some refinement. Everyone's going to need some tutelage in the NFL and the pros, but Jordan Addison is worth the pick. I do believe he's a top 15 pick in this NFL draft, and he is worth the price of admission for any team that is looking for a playmaker to change the aspect of their passing game. Jordan Addison is going to be that guy. He did have some concentration drops. I will say that. A lot of people saying hands aren't good. I put it in the pros. I love his hands. I think his hands are stellar. But he did have some concentration drops, and that's kind of why you see the stats kind of go down at USC. He figured out, not dropping the ball as much with Caleb Williams, so I think he was playing it a little bit more safe to round out the rest of his game, figuring that type of stuff out. But with how many big play opportunities they did give this man at Pittsburgh, you got to understand that's going to come with some healthy number of drops. But hopefully he figures that stuff out by the time he gets into the NFL, because I'm not overly concerned with the concentration drops. It's just a note that they are there to be seen. But for grading purposes, you guys know, man, I give all these rookies a grade score, and I got Jordan Addison sitting at 80% even. He's good. He is a good wide receiver, and I think he's going to turn a lot of heads for a lot of people that are sleeping on his services right now. They want to go for the height. I mean, there's not a lot of height in this draft. I mean, Jackson Smith-Njigba is 6 feet. Johnston is, 6'2", almost 6'3", so there is a few wide receivers with height. There is a lot of, smaller stature, speedier, agile wide receivers. Jordan Addison is definitely one of these wide receivers I'm lights out over the moon for, because I love myself some playmakers, and especially in a league with quarterbacks like a Mahomes, like a Josh Allen, like a Joe Burrow, you get them anywhere with one of those guys, and you're going to see fireworks on a weekly basis, I'm telling y'all. So there you have it. That is the first of many of Catchers of Balls scouting reports. My guy, Jordan Addison. Absolutely lights out stellar talent. I'm a huge fan, huge supporter of his game. I think that, depending on where he goes, it's going to be interesting when we see the NFL draft. I do believe he's a top 15, talent in this draft. If he goes to a team with a subpar quarterback, how is that going to bode for his ability? I do believe that he can uplift a subpar quarterback to be better than what he is. And if he gets with an elite level talent quarterback, goodness gracious, get ready for highlight reel fireworks on a weekly basis, because it definitely is coming. But nevertheless, as always, don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, jump in those comments, give me your thoughts. What do you think of Jordan Addison? Where do you got him ranked? Who you got him ranked ahead of? Let's do that. Put it in the comments. I'll definitely answer you back, but we'll see you next time. I am out.